Yo, what is up guys? Delboy here, aka Blue Collar Sports TV. Hopefully you guys are doing well. If you're new here, smash that like, hit subscribe, all of that good stuff. So a quick prediction for Gervonta Davis versus Leo Santa Cruz. This fight goes down on the 24th of October, and believe it or not, this fight is for both the WBA lightweight title and also the WBA super featherweight title. From what I understand, the weight limit on this fight is super featherweight, but for whatever reason, the WBA lightweight title is actually on the line. You know, that really doesn't make that much sense to me, but I do have a theory why that is. I'll get into that a bit later. But yeah, I mean, the fight itself, is it somewhat of a big fight? Yeah, I guess so. But for me, you know, this fight just doesn't really, get my excitement levels up, I've got to be honest. I'm really not convinced that Leo Santa Cruz belongs above featherweight, to be honest. I'm not really convinced how effective he's going to be in this fight. But enough about that. Let's get on to the tail of the tape quickly. We shall start with the favourite, Gervonta Davis. He's got a record of 23 wins, 0 defeats. 22 of those 23 wins coming by way of knockout. Leo Santa Cruz, he has a record of 39 wins, 2 defeats, 1 draw. 19 of those 39 wins coming by way of knockout. Gervonta Davis is listed as 5'5.5" with a 67.5 inch reach, whereas Leo Santa Cruz is listed as 5'7.5" with a 69 inch reach. So Leo Santa Cruz is the taller, longer man, but as you know, Tank Davis has been competing at a higher weight class. So yeah, Leo does have a height and reach advantage. Maybe he can make that work for himself. But, you know, Tank Davis really is the bigger guy in a sense of pure weight. Gervonta Davis is 25 years old and he is a southpaw, whereas Leo Santa Cruz is 32 years old and he is an orthodox fighter. So by the tail of the tape, I think it's clear to see that obviously Gervonta Davis is the younger, fresher guy. He's been the guy competing at a higher weight class and he's clearly a bigger puncher. Yeah, Leo Santa Cruz is more experienced and he is the taller, longer man. But quite frankly, I think Leo Santa Cruz is outgunned in this fight. Let's briefly talk about the weight. Now, this is one area in which a Gervonta Davis fan might be concerned. This fight is actually taking place at 130. Now, you know, Gervonta Davis has recently moved to lightweight. I think he's had one fight at 135. And in that first fight at 135, you know, he missed weight on the first attempt. So getting back down to 130 might be a bit of a struggle. I mean, Gervonta Davis missed 130 a couple of times in the past, so 130 obviously isn't easy to make. So if I was a Leo Santa Cruz fan looking for any hope, I think maybe that could be it. But let's talk about the titles quickly in regards to the weight. Now, is there a reason that the lightweight title is also on the line? Is that a contingency by the PBC? Should Tank Davis fail to make weight? Because if he does fail to make weight, obviously the next weight class up is lightweight, and at lightweight, Tank Davis holds a belt. So even if he misses weight, this fight would still technically be a title fight, right? I think that could be the reason why the two titles are on the line. Basically, the lightweight title is a contingency plan should Tank Davis not make weight, so they can still call it a title fight. That's just my theory, I guess, though. Anyway, let's get onto the stylistic matchup in this fight. We'll start with the underdog, Leo Santa Cruz. You know, he is the taller, longer man, and as far as I'm concerned, he needs to make that count. He can box, actually, better than people give him credit for. We saw that in the Carl Frampton rematch where, in the first fight, Leo Santa Cruz was far too eager to engage Carl Frampton in a war. By the way, I actually felt Leo Santa Cruz won the first fight, but regardless, he didn't get the decision. And in the rematch, Leo Santa Cruz completely changed his style up and he utilised his height and reach, kept the fight on the outside, kept his legs moving, didn't allow Carl Frampton to set himself, and basically he was outworking and picking off Carl Frampton from range. It was a really good boxing display from Leo Santa Cruz that night, and in my opinion, he needs to do that again against Tank Davis to have any real chance to win this fight. I think it's a terrible idea for Leo Santa Cruz to go toe-to-toe with Tank Davis. I think Tank Davis hits too hard. I think he's too quick, he's too precise, and he would find the openings and probably hurt Leo Santa Cruz. You know, Leo Santa Cruz has always shown a good chin, but he showed a good chin in the lighter weight classes. Now he's fighting basically a fully fledged lightweight who can really punch. And he's also fighting a puncher with good hand speed and a guy who can actually put his shots together quite well at times. So trading with Gervonta Davis would be a grave mistake. As tough as Leo is, you know, there's only so many weight classes you can traverse before you start feeling the power and strength of your opponents. And I think Gervonta Davis is going to be that guy for Leo Santa Cruz, especially if Leo engages in a war. So Leo, to me, the obvious thing for him to do is keep Tank Davis at the end of his punches. He needs to try and keep his feet moving, and basically he needs to make Tank Davis take the lead on the front foot. Tank Davis isn't that great at cutting the ring off, you know? So yeah, for me, Leo just needs to box and move and try to keep Tank Davis at arm's length. Because like I said, I don't think Tank Davis is particularly good at fighting on the front foot. You know, he's okay at fighting on the front foot when he's fighting a flat-footed, like, brawler. He looks good then. But when he's fighting somebody with a bit of movement, you know, then he kind of struggles a little bit. We saw that in the Fonseca fight where he was looking a bit average at times. And even in the Yuriorkis Gamboa fight, a Gamboa with one leg, he was kind of being awkward, he was being cute. And it took Tank Davis 12 rounds to knock out a one-legged Gamboa. So Tank Davis coming on the front foot, creating his own openings, isn't all that effective. And that's what Leo Santa Cruz needs to expose in this fight. Whether he can or not, you know, I'm very doubtful, to be honest. But that's what he needs to do in this fight. I think it's obvious. There's no other way for him to win this fight at all, in my opinion. That's how he needs to win this fight. Box and move, basically. As for Tank Davis, you know, he needs to make his size count, make his power count, make his superior speed count. You know, Leo Santa Cruz, to me, is very questionable above featherweight. We saw him in his last fight at 130 against Flores, a guy who wasn't rated in BoxRec's top 100, and Leo Santa Cruz went the distance with that guy and looked pretty ordinary, to be honest. I really wasn't impressed with that performance. I'm not convinced that Leo belongs above 126. This fight's obviously at 130. I think Tank Davis needs to test that body out, and he needs to test that chin out early. He needs to make Leo Santa Cruz realise that, you know, this isn't a Carl Frampton. This is a completely different animal with a completely different level of power. I think if Tank Davis catches Leo early, with some good hard shots to the head, even to the body, I think you could see a scenario similar to the Mikey Garcia-Errol Spence fight, where Mikey really kind of goes into his shell, doesn't take risks, because what's coming back is just too much from a bigger man. I could see a similar scenario in this fight, where Tank catches Leo early on, and it basically just shuts off his offense because he doesn't want to get caught again. You know, he's playing it safe, he's shelling up, he's being negative. I could see that happening in this fight. So yeah, I think Tank needs to test that chin early on, and also don't negate to go down to that body. I have seen Tank work the body fairly effectively, in spots at least, and I think he needs to actually apply a body attack in this bout, because I do think Leo Santa Cruz is going to be moving. I do think he's going to be fighting with a nice tight high guard. That is what Leo Santa Cruz's defense is, a high guard. What's the best way to drop a high guard? Start digging to that body. You know, get those hands to drop so you can land those power shots to the head. And yeah, essentially, you know, Tank just needs to make the most of his opportunities. When Leo's against the ropes, let your hands go. When Leo's stationary, let your hands go. I would like to see Tank Davis a little more quick on the front foot, to be honest, because Tank does have pretty slow feet, and I do think Leo Santa Cruz is going to be moving in this bout, so a little more urgency in regards to the foot speed from Tank Davis wouldn't go amiss, and yeah, basically apply that pressure. I know that, you know, Tank Davis isn't a great pressure fighter, but I don't think he has to be to win this fight. I just think Leo Santa Cruz is coming up one weight class too many. I think the task at hand is too powerful, too strong, too fast, too young, too fresh, and I see Tank Davis getting to Leo Santa Cruz. I see him stopping Leo Santa Cruz. I would say late on. I was actually saying maybe a bit earlier previously, but I will give Leo Santa Cruz his credit. He is tough, so Maybe Leo can get to the last quarter of the fight, but I do think he's going to get stopped in those last 3 or 4 rounds kind of thing. Like I said, I just think Tank is too big, too strong, too powerful for Leo Santa Cruz. Essentially what this fight is, I see this fight as Mikey Garcia versus Errol Spence Part 2. I think this is very deliberate matchmaking by the PBC to make Gervonta Davis look great against a recognisable name, similar to Spence versus Mikey Garcia. You know, Mikey Garcia was an unbeaten champion, multi-weight world champion, had a good fan base, but ultimately, you know, they knew he was undersized and really didn't pose much of a threat to Errol Spence. And I think they feel the same about Leo Santa Cruz. The only difference is, in this fight, I think Gervonta Davis is going to knock his man out and actually potentially look good doing it. And that's what I see this fight for. It's basically a marketing project for Gervonta Davis. You know, they're hoping he looks good against a recognisable name with a decent fan base to build his brand, basically. So yeah, we've got Tank Davis by stoppage. Share your thoughts below. What do you think? Do you believe that Tank Davis could actually get upset in this fight? Or like me, are you backing Tank Davis to do the business? Share your thoughts below. Peace.